Welcome back to Gen Z Insights. I'm Glenn. Today we're going to be reacting to Undisputed, a take about Rondo possibly joining the Los Angeles Lakers again this season. Let's go ahead and check out this video. We're going to start a series of just reacting to Undisputed. First things first, first take. Comment if there's anything else you want to see me react to. Basically, I want to react to debating formats, give my take, but also just give a little comments on their takes as well. So let's see how it goes. This is the first installment, the first episode of the debate reactions, but let's get started here.
Fit with the Clippers. Yeah, we got.
I hope so.
We got playoff Rondo.
Yeah.
I don't know what y'all had last year.
You know what? You can have him.
I don't know.
Good riddance.
Whoa,
Good
riddance. Time out.
Yeah.
Yeah, look. You know, you've covered this game long enough. You know, everybody's personalities don't mesh. And you got to be careful. Just because somebody was good at a place, you need to understand the dichotomy of your locker room. Rondo is an abrasive personality. You got two guys now. Rondo will never be as accomplished. It'll never be the players that Kawhi and Paul George are, but they're not the leaders. And Rondo's personality, if Rondo sees something wrong, he gonna say it. And remember, that rubbed Paul George, that rubbed Kawhi wrong with Trez, with Lou Williams. Got them up out of there. So in this situation, he saw something was wrong. But I knew the first time that I saw this, Skip, is the Mavericks game. When he passed that ball to Kawhi shot an air ball, and they were saying something coming off the court, and Rondo looked at him like, "What? I threw you the ball. Why'd you hesitate?"
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, Rondo started getting DMPs. Skip, this man has been a starting point guard.
There it is, I believe. There's the
He hesitated, pump fake.
Desperation.
Right,
air ball completely covered.
And they're walking off the court. Skip, I was trying to read Rondo lips like what he actually said.
I can't read his lips, but he's saying you did something wrong. And Kawhi did not like getting shown up like that after he got stuck in the corner with no time left, completely covered, trying to get a shot up through the hands that are in his face.
But we saw the writing on the wall. Rondo Skip was the starting point guard on a championship-winning team. He was a valuable role player on another championship-winning team. He goes from that to DMP in playoffs. Skip, they called the man Playoff Rondo. And all of a sudden, the man that's named Playoff Rondo is not playing DMP, coach's decision, in a playoff game. You know how this was going to end, Skip.
Yep.
I think the thing is coming back. I think this is another opportunity for LeBron to stay off the ball even longer. You want to really manage LeBron minutes, especially in the early part of the season. Try to keep him somewhere around 32. If you can play him just 30 minutes and get away with that and win ball games, you will. But a guy like Rondo, Skip, you got to define his role. You can't come in there and give him false hope like Rondo, you're going to be playing 28 minutes a night. Rondo, you're going to be playing somewhere around 18 to 20 minutes a night.
So you're telling me Rondo's going to be...
Before Skip continues here, I want to just jump in. I do agree with almost everything Shannon said. I do think, Rondo can be a very valuable piece on a championships team still. Even if he doesn't play, I still feel like he could bring that, the veteran presence, but also just the IQ, being the coach on and off the floor for the team. He's, created a lot of the good defensive plans back in the playoffs, the 2020 when the Lakers won that championship in the bubble. I do think it's a great fit. They have chemistry. He has chemistry with LeBron, Dwight, LeBron, AD, Dwight, obviously, and THT as well. So he already has that chemistry with a championship team. He brings, like I said, that veteran presence, IQ, defensive mentality, does allow LeBron to get off the ball because he'll be handling some ball handling responsibility, especially in the regular season. I do think it is a good fit. Obviously, I wish Rondo shot the three better, but he did shoot very well in the bubble. If he can just, have a good stretch in the playoffs where he's shooting decent from three and helps us win a game or two, that's a great sign. The Lakers are absolutely stacked right now with veteran presence, championship experience, and obviously tons of all-star appearances as well. We just have to see how it's going to fit. Like he said with the Clippers, I feel like Rondo has to have a leader who is the leader of the team, but also the best player. Otherwise, it kind of clashes with the team because Rondo, he demands, or, he feels like there has to be a leader, and the leader needs to be, one of the best players of the team. Without that, it just kind of throws off the chemistry within the whole team. But I do agree with everything. I do think there was just something off about that, relationship with the Clippers. I don't like the moves the Clippers made. They traded Lou Williams, for Rondo. They could have extended Lou. Maybe they thought he was past his prime anyway. But then just to ship out, I mean, I think maybe it's good for them. They shipped out Patrick Beverley, even though he did play very well in some playoff games. But to trade Lou and then lose Rondo, got back Eric Bledsoe, but it's just kind of you just ship out and ship someone new in and just hope it's okay. That's kind of what the Clippers are doing right now. They're not looking to win the championship next year. They were just looking to, be as best as they can on the cap space part of things, but obviously also put out a decently competitive team. But let's also see what Skip has to say, and then I'll give my full take of what I think about Rondo coming back to the Lakers after this.
The two-guard backup for your Lakers? Because you told me LeBron's going to be playing off the ball.
LeBron going to be at the ball. LeBron going to be Rondo point.
Have the ball. There's another guy named Westbrook who has to have the ball in his hands.
They might not.
So they're going to play with two basketballs? I don't know.
Hold on. See, why are you worried about what's going on with a championship winning team?
Because I'm predicting it's going to blow up in your face.
I'm predicting y'all will not make it to the conference championship this year.
I do want to stop this real quick and just say, a lot of people hate on Skip and Shannon. Obviously more on Skip, but I have to say Skip is a very smart person. He is, very right about sports. He's right about a lot of things. Obviously, he can be a hater. He can be really wrong and just biased against people as well. But in this case, actually last year, he said Marc Gasol was going to be a terrible fit. Everyone else, kind of disagrees. He's a great defender, blah, blah, blah. Skip ended up being right. He wasn't a great defender. I think he could be better on this team, just with spacing the floor, etc. But last year, he was very slow, looked like a glacier on defense. With that being said, I don't know if Skip is right, but it would not shock me if it was, more trouble than a lot of Lakers fans seem to think it will be with having Westbrook fit in the locker room and just with the ball handling priorities, who's going to have the ball in their hands for how much per game. I think it will take some time for them to figure it out. And Skip thinks it's going to be way worse, but he could be right. He's right a lot of the time. I just want to give Skip his credit. He's very intelligent, and he does have a lot of great predictions.
Okay.
We are going to the NBA Finals. That's what we will be doing. Now, as I explained to you, Rondo and LeBron, remember how well they played together? Now, you just talked about this last year when y'all got Rondo, how well Rondo played with LeBron and what he was going to bring to the Clippers. Now that we get him back, now you do dumping on him.
Okay, there was nobody there named Russell Westbrook in the bubble, right? I told you he disqualifies every good move that GM LeBron made this year, and that's another good move, quote unquote, until you remember, oh, he's backing up Russell Westbrook, who does not like to come out of basketball games. He wants to play high minutes. He wants to play 40 plus.
Well, he ain't going to be playing 40 plus.
Well, if he isn't, he's going to be unhappy, so you'll have two unhappy campers.
Remember what they talked about? What did Russell say at his press conference? It's about sacrificing. That's what he said at his press conference.
Oh, he always says that preseason.
Well,
Also, to this point, Shannon also said when Westbrook, had the press conference to join the Lakers, he said it sounded like he was saying all the right things like you do when you first meet, your spouse's family, etc., which is a great point. I do think he was saying all the right things in the right time. But I do think because of how stacked this team is, because of where he's at in his career, he's going to be back home. I think he will accept, whatever he needs to, less minutes, a little bit less ball handling time, trying to cut down on the turnovers, cut down on the bad three-point shots or just bad shots in general. I think he'll do his best to, be as good as he can. I do think it could be very beneficial for Rondo to play, at least a lot in the regular season to lower LeBron's minutes if possible. It's really hard to get him to lower his minutes. He loves playing. But same with same with Westbrook as well. He goes so hard in the regular season. I wonder if he had, 2 to 4 minutes off a night where, Rondo can take over for the ball handling priorities, if that would help him, be so healthy going into the playoffs that he would just go berserk, go off in the playoffs. I don't know for sure, but I do see Westbrook probably playing around 32 to 34 minutes a game. Same for LeBron. So we'll just have to see. But again, very good point by Skip.
You watch.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that Rondo's back. I think he'll fit well. I think he'll do a good job with that second unit. And sometimes LeBron likes to come in there with that second unit. He and AD, great pick and roll action. I like this move. Sneaky.
Okay, sneaky.
Sneaky good.
It's going to be sneaky blow up right in your face.
Why you?
Like a like one of those trick cigars that blows up in your face. You're going to light it up and it's going to explode.
Why you always try to put bad mouth on our
I'm
selection?
just predicting what's about to happen because I'm going to go back to the bubble. The unsung hero for that Lakers championship run was one Rajon Rondo. He was playoff Rondo, and he was exactly what the doctor ordered for that team because he came in and saved the day again and again. It was game 2 and game 6, the closeout game. He scored 16 in game 2 and 19 in the closeout game.
I don't want to say Rondo came and saved the day. He played incredible. He made key plays almost every playoff game, especially in the finals. But like you said, 16 and 19 points, I believe he just said. That's not, game changing. But he had a lot of great assists, great steals, great like everything. He played great for a role player, absolutely great. But he wasn't the game changer. I feel like even without Rondo, that year the Lakers would win the championship. But he helped tremendously, and he showed he could fit alongside LeBron. And he shot the three a lot better than people expected.
16 and 19, and he made 3 of 4 threes in each of those games. That's 6 of 8 threes in game 2 and game 6. Every time he shot a 3, I'd say, no, yes, no, yes, because he has a reputation for not being a very good three-point shooter, except in the clutch, under fire. In that series, he made shots that were crucial to your winning the Bubblicious championship.
For sure.
There you go.
But not game changer.
Cubic zirconia. Well, it was. You're playing Miami, the 5th seed, without Bam, without Dragic.
I hate when Skip does this. This is something that annoys me. That's how the bracket fell. You cannot blame anyone for who they had to play. LeBron had to go against, the greatest team ever, possibly one or two, if you want to say the Bulls, basically 3 years in a row, 16, 17, 18. That is an incredibly hard, and he lost every single time he got Miami. That's how it broke out. The Bucks, it could have been the same team from last year or from this last year who just won the finals. They weren't ready yet. It was a year before. So, I mean, you can say that the Heat weren't very good, but they beat the Bucks. They got there. They played well. Jimmy was playing absolutely amazing. He was a man on a mission. You can't say, it's, cubic zirconian. Like, it's a real championship. It's a real ring. Give LeBron his respect. And 10, 20 years from now, no one's going to look back and act like that championship doesn't count.
2 of their leading
What
players.
would the Clippers give for one of those?
It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter because Rondo was exactly what you needed, and I thought wrongly exactly what the Clippers needed at midseason to reacquire him. I thought it was a Jerry West special. We let him go get his money in Atlanta. Yeah. Remember, money the Clippers did not have until.
Speaking of money, I do want to shout out Rondo. He's in a fantastic position. So he wins a championship with the Lakers, signs a $2-year, $15 million deal with the Atlanta Hawks. I'm not for sure of his buyout situation, but he played there. He got traded to the Clippers, so he's played one season on that 2-year, $15 million contract. I believe his buyout was for the full $15 million, so he played one season for $15 million. Now he gets to sign another veteran minimum with the Lakers, probably be $2 or $3 million. Plus, he's possibly has a chance to win another championship or at least make it to the finals. That's probably 17 to 18 million for 2 years. That's incredible, and I'm really happy for him. I'm happy to see any player get their money.
Well, Atlanta said, okay, that's enough of that, as he was backing up Trae Young, and that was not working, and that they would hand him back with, they would pay the freight, but hand him back at midseason to the Clippers. And I thought, perfect, bingo, the quarterback this team needs, the leader this team needs, the one guy who will keep Kawhi and Paul George in line on the floor. But there's one thing you can't do. When a play blows up at the end of a game, when it just goes completely haywire, it's also your fault because you're the point guard, and I thought he would distribute for them. He would put them in positions that they could not get in as they blew the 3-1 lead in the bubble to the Nuggets.
Correct.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the same thing, honestly. When the Clippers got Rajon Rondo, I thought he was going to be really good for him. He ended up doing, having DMPs. I'm sure it was a situation with just being, having conflict in the locker room possibly, or with the coaching staff. But I thought Rajon was going to come in and do great things like he did for us, be the same player for us he was for them. It just didn't quite work out. Skip knows that Rajon can be, a very, very good role player for any playoff team if he's in the right position. I think he knows that he could be very good for the Lakers again if he's healthy. He does get injured a lot in the regular season, so if he is healthy, if he can stay healthy in the playoffs especially, he has a good chance to help the Lakers. I don't know if Skip wants to admit that, but obviously, there's some hard feelings. He didn't do much for the Clippers. They didn't even really let him try. So I'm sure that's kind of where Skip is coming from here as well.
The point was, you're right. The beginning of the end was that night. It was Game 5 at home. They lost to the Mavericks after they'd won Games 3 and 4 impossibly at Dallas. They came back and they blow Game 5 because they screw up a play at the end of the game. At least you can get a shot.
Right.
And because the ball wound up in the corner in Kawhi's hands, Kawhi didn't love it. And then Rondo is showing him up as they walk off the floor by sort of chewing him out. Or
we ain't chewing him out, but you ain't gonna say something under your breath without me getting back at you.
Well, I'd say.
Why you walking toward me? Just walk into the locker room.
Look, did you know there was a government-funded education grant?
Air ball, but LeBron never shot an air ball to end the game.
Oh, no? He probably shot 15 of them.
LeBron ain't never
sure
do. He's like, man, I came over here for this.
Yeah.
Skip's like, LeBron shot more air balls than anyone in the history of the NBA. Let's be honest.
LeBron takes them himself, and they're like uncontested, and he misses it badly.
And Kawhi tried to show up Rondo. You saw him turn to him, Skip.
Well, he didn't like. That's something you save for the locker room, right? What says in there stays in there.
Well, you should have
right?
saved that shot for practice.
Okay, so look what happened to Rondo.
All right, so they've pretty much given their takes right there. If you want to continue to watch that video, obviously, you can go to their main Undisputed channel to watch that. But I kind of want to just give my take now. And the question here is, will he have success again with LeBron and reach another finals? I do think Rondo will have success again. He could be the third string point guard on the team behind Russell and Kendrick Nunn. He could come in and just give good ball handling opportunities, as well as getting people involved, as well as playing really very good defense, just rough physical defense, picking up not close to full court, but not full court, just getting everyone in that mentality, adding IQ to the locker room, to the coaching staff, and just adding another piece, another all-star, another champion. I do think he'll have success again with LeBron. He's already proved that he could. They have the chemistry, and I do think they will reach another finals. I do think the Lakers are going to reach the finals. I know it's very easy to say, but I do think it'll be Lakers Nets, barring injury. I'll be covering a lot of Lakers Nets, so if you're interested in those teams, please let me know. I also want to cover teams like the Bulls, the Hornets, and other teams. So let me know what teams you like, and let me know so I can cover them down below. Just drop it in the comment section, please, and I'll respond to you, and definitely check it out and see if we can make that happen for you guys. I want to make as much content as I can and cover as much as I can that's going to help you guys and help let you guys have more takes and more thoughts and opinions on these kind of sports entertainment aspects as well. But I do think they'll make the finals again. I don't see the Clippers doing too much this year. I do think Kawhi probably sits out the entire year. They could still make the playoffs, but I'm not too worried about them. The Suns were very good. I do think the Lakers do beat the Suns last year. If AD doesn't go down, they were up 2-1. They're doing very, very well. I don't think the Nuggets are going to be coming with anything too crazy. Jamal Murray could come back and be very, very hot. I do think playing in the playoffs in front of a huge crowd, traveling will be a lot different than his time in the bubble. There's some other teams out there. The Warriors are probably the ones that worry me the most about for the Lakers, especially. The Warriors, when they add Clay, they could be very deadly. They still have the big three. They still have Andrew Wiggins. They have James Wiseman. They have 2 new high draft picks. They have a couple other guys as well that they kept on the team. They even still kept their center, Kevon Looney. So they're very solid. If they can get back to that chemistry, if Clay can get back to playing lockdown defense and playing very well, shooting the ball very well, averaging 20+ points, they could be very deadly. They could show you a lot of what they were in 16. And that's not even saying if they make a big trade that no one's even talked about yet. So honestly, I do think that the Warriors probably worry me more than any other team out there. Any other team, I'm really not way over concerned with. I think that the star power, the veteran leadership, just the pure talent on the team, I don't see any other real threat in the West besides the Warriors. Obviously in the East, Brooklyn, I would say Milwaukee, possibly. I think Miami is going to be good. I don't think they'd be good enough to challenge any of those other 3 teams I mentioned, Lakers, Nets, and Bucks. But I think those are the 3 top teams. I think it'll end up being the Nets and the Lakers in the final. I do think Rajon Rondo will play a part if he does decide to join the Lakers, which I do believe he will. I do think they'll make it back to the finals, and I think it'll be one of the most exciting seasons we've seen in a long time. It might be kind of redundant because we know who's going to be in the finals, but once it gets here, it's going to be, you know, a heavyweight world championship fight. It's going to be one of the best finals in history if it happens. So I'm very, very excited to happen. But that's my take. I do think he will help LeBron reach success and reach the finals again. But that is my video for today. I didn't want to play the whole Undisputed video just because they go through kind of back and forth. Wanted to let them get their takes off and then give my take myself. If you kind of like this format of letting them speak and then me speaking, let me know. I'd absolutely love to make more videos like this. I want to do first take, first things first as well, about NFL, MMA, boxing, and of course, NBA consistently. But let me know what you think. Did you like the video? If you did, please drop a like on this video. Please drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what I could do better or what you want me to react to. Other than that, this is Gen Z Insights. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye.